Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Activities for People Living with Dementia. We're proud to offer this series with funding from the Area Agency on Aging and the United Way of Tarrant County. Some of our programs are recorded and some are made available for viewing through a YouTube channel for future use. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, you might want to. To find us, type in Dementia Friendly Fort Worth. Click on our logo, which is a longhorn on a blue background, and choose the word videos. You'll be surprised what you find. I am Martha Brown, your host for today's activities. Today, I am thrilled that Emily Corbin is with us to bring us chair yoga called Nia-Moving to Heal. Emily, I am sorely in need of some movement today. Do you think we can do that?
Yes, yes, yes. I think this is one of those Mondays when maybe we all are feeling a little sorely in need of something, right? Something. I don't know. We all need something. So,
Yes, we do.
yeah, let's figure out, let's figure out what we need. So I'm going to come to this practice a little differently today, and I want to invite y'all to do the same. Every one of you has been with me and done a ton of Nia-Moving to Heal practices, and you know that no two are ever alike, so why should this be any different, right? And we often talk about what we're dancing with when we come into our seat and we sit down in our chair and we look at close our eyes and look at inside what we're working with for the day. And so it sounds like we all brought some things this morning that we know we're dancing with, we know we're going to work with. And because I'm dancing with some pretty limited movement, I had already planned for us to just talk a little bit about the ways that we like to move our bodies and the ways that we feel good moving when we're healing something acute, right? Something that's like screaming at us, right? And then also, how do we change the way we move because we expect a pain or a physical limitation to be there, right? Sometimes we move in a way that's protective and it reinforces the pattern that we're trying to protect from. Does that make sense to anybody? Right? Because I'm noticing how with my back very tender, I'm kind of walking in this very rigid way. And what I recognize is that walking in that rigid way is making it worse. But it's how my body has decided to kind of protect and, well, at least we can deal with this version of pain, right? Well, what if instead of tightening up and fighting against those places in our bodies that feel vulnerable, right? What if we could just decide that just for right now, we're going to take slow, conscious breaths and maybe put our arm around the thing. If we could imagine, I'm going to imagine that my low back is standing next to me and I'm going to put both arms around it. So, and then I'm going to imagine slow dancing with my low back in a way that's kind and compassionate. I know that's a weird concept, but work with me here. Anybody dancing with something?
If you
Selma,
happen, excuse me, if you happen to see me not doing it, I have severe sleep apnea. So if
that's okay.
If I just fall asleep, I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm not
whatever, Thelma. That's fine.
not
That's
ignoring
what
you.
you might be dancing with. You might be dancing in your sleep. You might be dancing with sleep apnea. It's all good, right? We're gonna.
I'm gonna do. If I have to fall asleep, don't think I'm ignoring you.
That's fine.
I
Okay.
won't. I'm happy you're here. No matter what that looks like. I'm happy you're here.
Okay.
All right.
And that's a good example of dancing with what you have.
Thank
Yep,
you.
it sure is. It sure is. Anybody else want to share something they're dancing with today?
I'm feeling heavy and slow.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Anybody else dancing with something?
We're all
Yeah.
grown. I'm gonna tell Martha this. Go and get you some liquid Viagra, which is which is what's that stuff what they used to use a long time ago? What I had it in my mind to tell you, but anyway, it's some kind of stuff that they use to give old you know how you call them you old
Never.
because I ain't get my words together. Give you energy. I'll think of the name of it in a minute. I had it on my mind when I said that.
Whatever will give me energy, I'll take it, Miss Thelma.
Uh, what is that stuff? They used to
Emily,
make-
I'm just going to be working some muscle tension out of my shoulders.
You got some
So you always
muscle
have-
tension in the shoulders. All right. Yep. And how do you notice that, Dawn? I'm wondering, do you wake up in the morning and say, oh, I have tension in my shoulders? Or
Nope.
is it more subtle than that? You start moving around, you start doing daily activities, and then you start to notice. How does that work?
It's more like you start doing daily activities, and
Mhm.
you know, Myra has pointed out that I started walking kind of leaning forward a little bit, and that's really putting tension on my neck. So you know, I try to
Can you
keep my head
show
straight
me
up.
can you show me what the leaning forward looks like? So the head is kind of,
Yeah,
okay, and the shoulders are a little rounded.
yeah.
All right. Okay. So if I wanted to do the opposite of that, I might take a big breath.
Yep.
And spread my chest and let my shoulders drop with my exhale.
And
I
that,
might also work on, remember how we have talked about before, this imaginary string at the top of the crown of the head, right?
Yes.
It's sort of gently kind of allowing your head to float up there, right? Go on, you were saying.
no, that's exactly what I do. I just straighten myself up and put my head up, and if, like I said, if Myra notices I'm leaning forward a little bit, she'll let me know in the most loving way possible. And and it helps. It really helps a lot.
Good, good. Another exercise you could try would be to lay with some support under the shoulder blades and just lay flat on your back with your arms open, like spreading your angel wings, and just letting yourself lay there for 10, 15 minutes, even breathing. And the first few breaths, the first few minutes might be pretty crazy making in a way, because you're impatient and you're like, what is this doing? And then after you get over that initial impatience, your body stops panicking and asking so many questions. You can start to really soften yourself into that, and you'd be surprised at what a powerful experience it is just to let gravity kind of draw your shoulders apart like that, and open up the muscles of the chest.
I'd probably be a little bit like Thelma. I'd probably go to sleep a little
Right.
bit, but that would do the same effect. That would relax me.
Not a
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Well, you do that in bed anyway.
I do, yes. Yeah, at nighttime I do, yeah.
With a little, but there would be like an arch under your middle back, under your shoulder blades,
Okay.
right? Like a little, like yoga therapy ball right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so that it actually is like a back bend,
Oh,
right?
okay.
a little
Okay.
more like a back bend. And so it is the opposite of that rounded, curled forward spine, right? It's this open spine in this way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? I mean, that's hard. It's hard to talk about without actually doing. We should try doing that. I was wondering this morning if anyone has enough space to practice getting down on the floor and getting back up again.
Well, we might have space, but the ability might be a little bit a problem.
We can get down, but can we get up?
I
That's
can
right.
get down. It's just ugly getting up.
Well, and that's why it takes practice. It's why we have to practice it, you know.
So that when we do fall in
So
our
that-
old age, we will be
So
able to
that-
get up.
Yeah, your body, the more you practice something, right? An instrument or a making your favorite recipe in the kitchen, or your art, for example, anything you practice, if it happens accidentally, right? If you happen into that circumstance, your brain automatically knows, oh, this is how I do this, right? You're creating those, you're creating a pathway to, oh yeah, I know how to do this, right? Okay, let's practice it. I'm going to play a song, just a very quiet song. And I want us to sit in our chairs and, oh, the host, oh, I'm not trying to record, I'm trying to share my music. Okay. Let's sit in our chairs and sense our feet on the floor. We'll get nice and tall, move our spines a little bit, and then we'll, if you can come down to the floor, you will. And if you can't, we'll just practice getting up out of the chair, right? And I know that, right, we take for granted that our bodies can do these things, or maybe we take for granted that they can't do these things, and so we don't try, right? And that is really important too, to not make up our minds about what we can and can't do without practicing.
While you're trying to do that, let me share. I was in Bass Hall the other day. I got to see the Lion King, by the way.
Oh, how cool.
It was wonderful. The seat where I always sit is one of those that is on a riser, and my knees are practically at my sight line. And it's very difficult for me to get up from that. It's almost like a squat. And I have to grab hold of the chair in front of me and beside me and hoist myself out of that chair. And I'm not going to move because I like where it is in the space. But I think, now, am I going to be able to get up today? And I thought that this weekend, am I going to be able to get up? So I need to practice that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
Well, let's see if you're still thanking me. All right. So we'll practice moving in a way that feels safe and moving in a way that is in the opposite direction of pain. Now, some of the ways that we move our bodies throughout the day, pain is unavoidable, but we want to pay attention to anything we can do to create ease in our movements. Come on. Click, click. There we go. It's just very quiet. You guys hear that little Chopin?
Yes.
I'll give us just a tiny bit more volume. There they go. Seated nice and tall, sensing feet on the floor. Relax your jaw. With your next inhale breath, we'll shrug our shoulders up towards our ears. Maybe let the chin fall towards the chest and sense that closed off nature of your spine. And you can take an exhale here too and just kind of stay like this for a moment. Let your body notice this feeling. And then when you're ready, let's begin to lift the chest and spread the shoulder blades. Let your chin be parallel to the floor. Let your shoulders drop down and sense space in the middle of your spine, in the back of your neck, and sense your feet pushing into the floor, stability in your hips and your belly, and then length from the top of the head, lifting all the way up, rolling the shoulders up and onto the back again with each exhale. Not the song I thought it was. All right. So when you're ready, let's move around one ankle joint. I know you can't see my feet, but that's okay. Nothing to see. My ankle joint is moving slowly, carefully, and gently. And then I'm going to take that foot and press it back onto the floor, really sensing pushing the floor away from me with that one foot, and then the softness of the other foot. Now I'll lift up my other foot, rotate the ankle joint. Obviously not a pianist, right? No idea. Let's rotate the ankle joint all the directions. So finding 365 degrees. No, 360. I was paying attention to Dawn. Is he gonna notice my mistake? Rotating the other direction.
When I do that, the lower part of my back hurts.
It does. So we have a couple choices. We can do it differently. Is it the shifting? Is it the lifting? You could just extend your leg and keep your leg on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then bring your foot back to the floor. Good. Now, if you're going to stay seated with me, you'll stay in your chair. If you're going to come to the floor, I'm going to bring my screen down where you can see the floor. Got two chairs here. I'm going to move this one out of the way. Hi, Lolly. So she's pretty skilled at getting up and down from the floor. Let's see if we can follow her lead a little bit, right? So if you're going to stay in your chair, I'm going to use the support of the floor the way that you're going to use the support of your chair. Lolly brought us a toy.
I love
Like,
it.
you're
I
on my
love that.
level. You're on my level. This is what happens. All right. So if I came down to the floor, and who knows how I got this way, right? And then I determine I need to get up from here. What am I going to do? I'm going to make an assessment, right? I'm going to take my hands around my body. I'm going to sense where I feel strong, where I can push my hands into the floor. If I'm sitting in a chair and I need to get up, I'm going to take my hands to the base of the chair, right? Maybe the back of the chair if I've got enough stability and leverage there. And then once I've figured out where do I feel strong, where do I feel like I could apply a little bit of pressure, I might make my way over onto my side, right? If I'm sensing that my right side in this case is strong. I might actually make my way onto my back to switch over to the other side if I know that my other side is going to be stronger, right? So it may take me 15 minutes to get up off the floor. If you're sitting in your chair,
What are you talking about?
shift over to one side, begin to push your body,
Wait a minute.
just the weight of your body into the floor, and see what you can lift. You're sitting in a chair, you might be pushing, engaging the muscles of your thighs in order to push your feet into the floor, and sense the muscles of your belly engaging. Good. Now from here, I might crawl, make my way onto my tummy and crawl. So there's this period of exploration that is sort of like swimming around the way a baby would swim around and play on the floor, right? There's this exploration. A baby doesn't come into the world knowing how to get up and down off the floor, right? A baby doesn't come into the world knowing how to walk or even crawl, but it has to practice and it has to build neural pathways, right? And so that's what we will start with. We'll start with, this feels strong, this feels safe. And maybe I make my way onto my tummy. And then I can shift the hips back and come to crawling. If you're in a chair, it looks a little different, right? It looks like sitting and lifting the feet, sitting and lifting the feet, practicing pushing the feet into the floor. And then we would actually crawl, right? Taking one side long and the other side short. You can practice crawling in your chair, right? So if I'm crawling in my chair, one side is long, while one side is short. And from crawling, I can practice standing. Not standing up, but just standing to reach, shifting the weight from one side to the other. Now your seat could be in a chair, reaching, reaching. And then you could take your hands to your thighs if you're in this crouched position on the floor. Then you can take your hands to your thighs as well. If you're in your chair, hands to the thighs. You shift weight into one side, push into one side, and you're going to basically crawl vertically. You start to get long. I'll change my camera and go from side to side. Begin pushing into the foundation, reaching upward, pushing down to reach up. And then from here, you can begin to bring your feet closer together and find that you're standing, pushing into the floor to reach up and out. From standing, we walk. We place a foot on the floor. We sense our weight shift into the foot. We look where we're going. And then we lift the other foot and shift. Heel, ball of the foot, and then the toes land. Are we ready to do it again? So imagine that you start on the floor as a baby and you don't know any of what you know about how to get up to walking again. That's what we have to do each time. Let's open up our shoulders a bit here. Thanks for humoring me. I know that was not what you expected, and we did create some new neural pathways. Let's open up our arms and our chests. Let your shoulders drop, let your elbows dip down. Good. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take your arms in front of your chest, cross in front of the body, big hug. And exhale just to hug yourself a little deeper there. With your next inhale, let your arms come across the body, starting to separate. Open up again. And let those shoulders drop, the chest lifts, the elbows drop, and they're behind. Yes, exhale. Other arm on top. Big deep exhale here. Nice. So now just for a moment, you might tighten up your jaw right here. Like, can you guys make a Frankenstein face? Right? And then let that melt away with your next exhale. You start to notice all of the tension in your chest, in your shoulders, and your collarbones that melts away with that. And then anytime you're ready, we'll start to let the arms separate with an inhale. And then with an exhale, the arms float down. Good. Now gently just let your left ear fall towards your left shoulder. And we'll take the left hand to the side of the head. We're going to roll the right shoulder up and just open up that side. So you can make a big movement of it. I just want you to rest in a way that has your elbow in towards your side and your palm upward. So you've got an openness in this side. Good. And then with your exhale, just gently allowing a slightly deeper stretch and sensing that stretch from the back of your ear, right? The muscles that connect to the jaw, back of the head, all the way into the top of your shoulder and outer edge of your shoulder. When you're ready, let's release the pressure. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release your arms down. And then we'll take right side. So right ear is gently falling towards the right shoulder. And then I'm going to take that opening motion, that inhale to raise, and then exhale to lower with the palm up. I'm just going to let it hang there. No more effort in that left hand. Gently, gently, no forcing, just allowing. And remember that your jaw remains very relaxed unless you're chit-chatting away with me here. And allow the full length of your exhale to relax your left shoulder down even more, sensing all the space from the back of your ear to your shoulder. When you're ready, you can let go and bring your arm back to neutral. This time we'll lead with the chin as we reach forward, and then let the chin drop and round back up. And now we'll go the other way. So the chin is reaching, we'll bring the chin down. And then the crown of the head comes down like a dolphin coming up out of the water. Yeah, let's do that one again. And then the first one again, chin up and outward. Very nice. Little movement of the wrist. Little squeeze of the hands. And a little pressure, a little friction. So notice the difference between doing this vigorously and just kind of casually or softly, right? Notice the amount of stability that comes from all of the muscles that support your spine, just with this simple little thing, right? And then come back to just the hands at the heart. Little separation between the hands. Little separation so that you sense the pull, right? That little magnetic pull. Nice. And then let your hands come together and into your heart. So thank you for stepping into this unusual way of being in our bodies today. And I hope that you'll remember to approach whatever your next step is with a beginner's mind, right? With the approach of someone starting this moment with a clean slate, dancing with whatever you have right now. Let's step out into our day with gratitude. Clearing the space. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Miss Emily.
Thank you.
I didn't know that I,
Did any of that hurt your back?
Yes and no.
Okay. Well, that goes with all these aches and pains, I guess.
Yeah.
thank you for helping us practice getting up off of the floor. Someday that may save us a phone call to an EMS.
It's not something we want to practice, but it's something we all need to practice, no matter what age we are, no matter what level of physical ability we have. We all need to be practicing getting up and down off the floor, up and down out of a chair, in and out of our beds, These are all things that we take for granted until we can no longer take them for granted, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
So let's, and we also may not be limited tomorrow the way we are limited today. And we certainly won't be if we practice and believe that it's possible.
Mhm. Yes, that's true.
Mhm, mhm.
Well, Miss Emily's going to do this twice more today. Look at that. Nia-Moving to Heal at 11:30 and at 1:30. We're grateful for you, Emily, every day.
Mhm.
Don't
Tomorrow,
hurt yourself, Emily.
Yeah,
yes,
don't hurt yourself.
I'll be fine. Thank you.
and tomorrow is bingo all day. And
Bingo.
we've got some hot bingo players this month. Because some of us,
Really?
yeah, because some of us are not here on Tuesdays, we're going to go ahead and peek at Wednesday. And we're going to do Artful Moments replay on Wednesday. And we're going to look at art as represented by music. So whatever that looks
Okay,
like to
okay.
you on Wednesday.